Hey, somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare-chested. Somebody stop that man. Oh, they got him. Oh, they got him. They're coming from the left. Oh, they got him. Bang, bang, bang in his chest. Bang, bang. The guy is drunk.
Welcome to Fantasy and Chill. I'm your quarterback, Ryan Keller, coming to you week 8. Big week in fantasy football this last week.
Big week.
A lot of news to get to today. A lot of exciting news. Trade deadline. Joined, as always, by Ethan Hargrave.
Man, I'm feeling it today. I'm awake. I'm alive. It's Tuesday.
The most enthusiasm you've seen out of Ethan all season.
I'm not dead. I feel great, man. I'm not tired somehow. By the grace of God, had a crappy week in fantasy personally, but I feel so blessed. I'm happy to be here with these two other beautiful motherfuckers. Let's go.
Good. Maybe you can make up for me a little bit. I'm feeling out of it today. But producer Matt with us, controlling the boards.
As you can see, I did not win the Mega Millions last week, so I'll be back again.
Still here. And
Bummer.
we still don't have our awesome studio, so you didn't win.
So just a lose
Bummer.
for everyone. A loose.
A loose to lose.
You're saving the magic for whenever for your birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's when I'll win my
saving your
$1
magic.
billion at the casino. In blackjack.
Let's be realistic with our expectations.
That would be quite the feat.
I better
All right,
get
let's go ahead and
comped.
get started. Big week in fantasy. Lots of scoring. Big numbers put up. Let's get to our fantasy studs.
Fantasy studs.
I was ready.
Fantasy studs.
And Ethan, this first one's for you. We've been waiting.
Woo!
We've been waiting.
Hey,
First QB fantasy stud, Deshaun Watson, the baby goat.
Yeah, I don't know where that one is. So
well, it's been a while since we used it. We haven't used it all damn season.
There it is.
Baby goat.
He was 16 of 20. Very efficient night for him. 239 yards, but 5 touchdowns, where he got most of his points from. Also added 1 rush for 14 yards. Ethan, I'm just going to go ahead and let you take this one away.
This is what you expected whenever you drafted him. Thank you, Deshaun Watson. Thank you, Bill O'Brien. Did I say thank you, Bill O'Brien? You didn't fuck it
now,
up.
Let's not
No,
get
no, no.
carried. Let's not
Is
get carried
that too
away.
much? Am I going too far?
A little
That's a
much.
little overboard.
I'm just going to say that it's about damn time. Okay? I did say he was going to be, top 10 rest of the season. He's making me look good so far, making up for the first half. But, hey, better late than never, I guess. Welcome to the party, pal. Where's
So
the
we
diehard
did,
quote when you need it?
We had our midseason rankings last week, and you were the only one that had him in the top 10 moving forward, I believe. I don't think did you, Matt?
I had him at number 9, but then I changed it
scratched
last
him out.
second. Yeah.
It's okay.
With this big game, it already took him all the way up to QB number 7, so he's back in the top 10.
He's back.
It's going to be interesting with him moving forward because he didn't put up the yard. He only had 239 yards. He only threw it 20 times. Didn't have the rushing yards. But when a third of your passes, a third of your completions are touchdowns, then you're going to have big days.
That was the most complete game the Texans have played by far.
Granted,
Like
the Dolphins are terrible.
all season. Yeah, they're terrible.
But
But
on that note, we play a lot of terrible teams coming up. We play the Broncos and Redskins the next 2, which is going to be, probably our toughest games left besides the Eagles. But we have a streak after that at home where we play the Titans, the Browns, and the Colts all in a row at home. So it could be some big games coming up for Deshaun.
the Browns. Juicy.
Browns.
Juicy. See you later, Hugh. Later. Is it too early to talk about that?
Fine.
Can we talk about that? Well, should we say that?
I'm trying to see if we got any Browns talk on here.
Browns suck.
Please no.
No Browns talk. We can go ahead and
Underperforming
mention that.
Browns.
Yeah, Hugh finally got canned. That has been a long time coming.
Hey, and Demarius DT's coming to Houston.
That's
Welcome.
I added trade
Right, yeah.
deadline stuff. We're gonna get there.
Oh,
We're getting there.
okay.
Yeah. We'll save it.
Okay.
We'll foreshadow. We'll say Will Fuller got hurt last week, and they need to replace him with someone.
R.I.P. Game over.
With Hugh Jackson firing, is Bill O'Brien now the worst head coach in the NFL?
Yes.
I don't know. You have all these coaches going for it on 4th down in their own territory. Bill O'Brien has yet to do that, so.
Right, he just punted it like on the 20 if he could.
Oh yeah. Punt it for 1 yard.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the best by any means. I don't even think he's average, but he's above the Mendoza line if there was a Mendoza line for coaches. He's just not too far ahead of that. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
How well I think Bill O'Brien does is correlated to how good Deshaun Watson plays. So now Bill O'Brien might be the greatest head coach ever. So.
Possibly.
No.
Let's get to our next quarterback stud. This is Matt's quarterback.
Oh, my boy.
That's my quarterback.
Cam Newton, 21 of 29 for only 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he added 10 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. Cam has been solid pretty much all year. So, Matt, are you satisfied with your quarterback here?
I'm satisfied, but he scares the living death out of me every single week. He'll start off a game.
The living death.
The living death.
Is that an expression?
What's the expression that I'm trying to think of?
Scares the living hell out of me?
No, we'll go death. He scares the living death out of me every week.
Scares the death out of me?
Yeah.
Scares the piss out of me.
I'm immortal now.
Continue.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. He starts off the games. He'll be like 1 for 10 with like 30 yards going into the 4th quarter. And then all of a sudden, boom, 3 touchdowns. Got me 20 points.
That's kind of his MO, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I'm scared every single week.
You know what I mean?
At least this week he kind of got points early, so.
QB number 6.
Yep, and he's got a juicy schedule coming up. Got the Bucks next week.
Juicy.
He's got the Bucks.
You know he hasn't had over 30 points all year.
Yeah, but he's had a solid like 20, I think, pretty much each game.
That's what I'm saying. He's just been consistent.
Yeah. Well,
that was against the Ravens too, wasn't it?
Yep. He was supposed to do. Though the Ravens turned the ball over pretty deep in their own territory, so he got
Alex
a couple.
Collins.
That's why he only had 219 yards.
Exactly. He had a rushing touchdown too. So.
I'm sorry.
McCaffrey owners hate him.
2 guys in Watson and Newton that were big subjects on our.
Okay, I thought you were about to go somewhere
for
else.
last year for us. Whoa, man.
Keep going.
But if you remember from last year, we were Deshaun every week. We were excited about him, and we pretty much trashed Cam Newton on the show last year because he was pretty bad for most of the year last year.
Did
but yeah, we did.
Oh, I did.
Thought Cam Newton was like a top 4 QB last year.
I just
started off the year terrible last year.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it was.
But like I said, they are number 6 and number 7 respectively as quarterbacks this year. Solid plays.
I will mention Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen coming back is a big addition for him too.
Yeah, that's one of Cam Newton's favorite targets. So, okay, let's get to our running backs. And this guy keeps making the most of his opportunity. I have no idea what it's going to stop. Nobody does because we don't know the status of Le'Veon Bell. But James Conner, 24 for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also added 5 catches for 66 yards. And I mean, I think I saw today that his production that he is giving right now would be, if this was Le'Veon Bell, it would be Le'Veon Bell's best season.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
I think the train's just going to keep rolling too. I don't think they're going to. I mean,
I don't know what to make of it if Le'Veon Bell comes back. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, you just got to enjoy it right now, you know, just embrace it. These are the moments of your life.
Yeah, there was something I saw on Reddit. Someone was putting out some stats. This was the first time in franchise history that a player has had 3 games in a row with 2 touchdowns.
Really?
I would have never guessed that.
I think they said that during the broadcast on Sunday. They said Franco Harris never did that. Jerome Bettis never did it.
Yeah, with all the people they've had.
Rashard Mendenhall, Willie Parker.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty impressive. Hines Ward. You talking about anybody?
I think just running backs.
Man, I might just be running backs.
Okay. I was about to say, like,
Just
you
running
wide
backs.
receivers?
Okay, let's assume that Le'Veon Bell comes back in 2 weeks, week 10, like he said. Who are you picking after week 10? So moving forward, if Le'Veon Bell comes back,
I'm going James Conner until further notice.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I mean, why?
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Connor too at this point.
Because what reasoning do they like?
Doing?
Yeah, the way he's playing, why would you go to Le'Veon if he's not going to be with you next year?
And Le'Veon probably doesn't have any reason to play either. He's just trying not to get hurt.
He doesn't want to get hurt, and is he in football shape? You know, I'm sure he's in shape, but there's shape and then there's football shape. You know, so.
Guess they're
When's
just
the last time he
they're
took a hit on the field?
They'll cross that bridge when
stuff.
they get to it. But that's a good problem to have, I guess, having those two guys.
Yeah.
Okay, our second fantasy stud running back. I mean, what can you say about this guy anymore? Todd Gurley, 25 carries for 114 yards, 6 catches for 81 yards with a touchdown. Also added a 2-point conversion. Matt got to go up against the unstoppable force this week in our league.
Yeah.
Took the L. Didn't really stand a chance.
Right.
But Todd Gurley, he is your number 1 overall scorer. He's ahead of Mahomes by, I think, 3 points in our league.
Really?
So,
Didn't know that.
Far and away the best player.
Could have had another 6 points too, and hit the cover for the Rams.
Did he? If you're watching the game, everybody knows they watched the last play. Todd Gurley gets the carry to the left, wide open to the end zone, falls down at about the 5-yard line, so they can run out the clock and just win the game. Cost his fantasy owners 6 points for the touchdown, and also cost the Rams the cover and cost the game over hitting. So a lot of people were not happy with Todd Gurley.
Didn't like Marshawn Lynch or somebody do that one time?
There's been a few players that have done that.
I mean, it's just smart. That's heads up football.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart.
I love that.
He got you 30 points.
Yeah,
Or
it
something.
got you 30 points.
If you're bitching about getting 30 points and could have got more than you could have David Johnson, okay? Just
Exactly.
Look at the bright side.
That's true.
He's almost unfair. Like he's gonna go number 1 next year for sure. And this whole entire year, we could have cut and pasted our fantasy studs each and every week about when we're talking about him, and it would have been the exact same thing, just saying the same thing over and over.
Even the weeks where he wasn't a so-called stud that we've been doing, where I usually take the top 2 or top 3 if it's really close, he's always like 4 or 5 on the week. Like,
yeah,
he hasn't had a bad game.
There's some times where we probably could add him in there, and we're just like, well, we talked about him last week, so might as well just skip him.
It's like voter fatigue.
Yeah.
His lowest point total of the year is 23.2, and that was week 1.
Kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's just.
I mean, if you had first pick this year,
kudos to Blake in our league for taking Todd Gurley number 1.
I was going to take him as well.
I was going to take him, no doubt. But if you had the first pick this year and you got Todd Gurley, then it's very hard for you to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had the first pick and you were torn 50-50, then you either made one hell of a decision or a fucking terrible decision.
You're hating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the number 2 pick, I could understand if you took Le'Veon because you kind of forced your hand there.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But Todd Gurley, barring an injury, will finish the year as the number 1 running back.
Yeah,
He's got like
for
a
sure.
50-point lead on number 2. It's
barring injury. What's the chances you think of them just resting him for 2 games?
That's the thing. I read an article last week, I think it was on ESPN, about how the Rams are far and away the best team in football, and they said why this is not good for your fantasy team, because when they clinch first place with 3 weeks to go in the regular season, your best player might be sitting on the bench in your championship.
So handcuff him.
And that's gonna suck terribly.
I did a dirty thing and got the handcuff. So I'm hoping for this scenario.
That's smart.
I'm hoping for this scenario. I can't believe the Gurley owner didn't hold on to him.
Oh, I thought you were the Gurley owner.
Available in our league, and
I am
our
not the
Gurley
Gurley
owner will
owner.
not be picking him up. So he's made 2 acquisitions all year.
Aside from the fact that scenario is possible, the backup is actually not that bad. He actually pretty good himself. So, but Todd Gurley's Todd Gurley. So
Yeah. Before we move on to wide receivers, got a YouTube question.
Oh, I still have another running back, but we can go.
Oh, sorry, I forgot we went 3 this week. Oh wait, yeah, we went 3 this week. But yeah, let me just ask it. Kyle Rudolph and Sonny Michel for Marvin Jones and Demaryius Thomas.
Kyle Rudolph and Sonny Michel for Marvin Jones and Demaryius Thomas.
Correct.
The best player in that deal, assuming he comes back healthy, is Sonny Michel. So without knowing what his wide receiver already looks like and what his running back depth is, but just in a vacuum, I'd say probably hold on to Michel because I think he's still going to be a stud when he comes back either next week or the next.
Yeah.
Those guys, I mean, Marvin Jones and Demaryius Thomas, I mean they're like flex guys.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're not wide receivers that are going to really change anything unless you're already starting borderline flex guys. So I don't really see the really benefit of doing that unless, like I said, you just have 0 wide receivers.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people when they ask us trades, like on Instagram and stuff. There's so much that goes into it. Like, we need to know what your lineup looks like. Pretty much that's it, honestly. But
if you are listening and you are those people that have been DMing us on Instagram, keep sending the screenshots of your teams with your offers because I like to look at that, and that really helps add the perspective that we need. So
yeah, it's so hard to determine.
Already do a good job of that.
What
running
you need.
backs are at such a premium, always and forever, especially in standard scoring. So you could never have too many running backs.
So I think our consensus is, unless you're literally just starting shit for wide receiver, then hold on to Michel because he's going to be good.
Most of the time, you want to get the better player in a trade.
Yeah. And he is the better player. Let's get to our last running back. I said we were going 3 this week because we had Adrian Peterson rushing 26 times for 149 yards and a touchdown. Also added 1 catch for 7 yards and a touchdown. And showing that he's still got it in him. He just looks so slow out there. He just, like, his cuts, it just looks so slow, but somehow he's just getting by the defenders every time. I don't
faster than the Giants. Fuck you, Giants. You ruined my weekend. Fuck you. That's what sealed the deal for me. Was that last run that he had.
Went against Peterson?
Yes. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But, I mean, him being 33 and still doing stuff like that makes me feel good about being my age. So, which will not be disclosed at this time.
He is up to running back number 11.
Good pick. Good.
You just hope that they're staying in all these games.
Did he get signed like the week before the season started?
It is close, yeah.
Pretty impressive.
He's a physical specimen and an absolute freak. So
just don't forget, though.
The exception, not the rule.
Agreed. Don't forget, though, if they go down big, they're not going to use him at all. If you remember when they played New Orleans, he got 4 carries that week. So
he also got kind of banged up that game. But
yeah,
I get your point.
I don't think it was going to change.
But the thing is, I think they're a pretty decent team, honestly. So I don't see them really going down that big, especially against their division opponents. Because I mean, Eagles, Giants, and Cowboys haven't looked impressive at all.
They're a very well balanced team. I think they have a solid run game, a decent pass game. They can be solid. And
just added the second highest graded safety in the league. Haha, Clinton Dix. So
they did. Oh wow, making that push.
Yeah, I was about to say
their sorry, Matt. What?
I was just gonna say their defense has been looking better, which helps him out a bunch.
Yeah.
Solid core.
Let's get to our wide receivers. Number 1 stud wide receiver was Mike Evans, 6 catches for 179 yards and a touchdown. And pretty much, well, I don't want to spoil anything. We'll get to him later. But Mike Evans just benefited from probably a change that happened in that game. So
probably,
I'll just say that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of relevant. I'll sprinkle him in a little bit, and then we can talk about him more later. But it's mostly based on Mike Evans. Yeah, a little magic. So I'll just say with 1 QB, he has not caught a touchdown. He caught 1 touchdown. Mike Evans did, and then with another QB, he's caught 4, and he has about a 12% better catch rate with one of these QBs. So
now, if I was the coach,
If your name was Dick Cutter, what would you do?
Would you like to taste the W's? Whatever.
That W did not taste very good.
No.
I read somewhere that he's had like 78 turnovers in 48 games or something like that.
Yeah, it's something crazy like that.
Is that Winston?
Almost 2 a game.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks so good on some throws, and then some throws you're like, what were you thinking? Like, I don't understand.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, it's just like he zones out on some of these throws. I think they compared him to one other quarterback. I don't know if y'all were listening to the broadcast or not. I can't remember who it was, but pretty much
Vince
just
Young?
well, I guess you could say, I don't know. It's someone in the league right now. I can't remember.
Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb is not playing currently.
Randall Cunningham.
Byron Leftwich. He's in the league.
Byron.
David
Sandwich?
Garrard.
We're just okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
I know we go.
Number 2, stud wide receiver, a guy we just mentioned that guy asked us about in a trade, but Marvin Jones Jr., 7 catches for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marvin Jones showing a flash. Matt, he is one of your hopeful trade targets. What do you have to say about Marvin Jones?
He's only my trade target because, well, see, now we're moving on to another segment. I don't know if I can talk about this or not.
Let's hold on to it.
I know, I'll sprinkle a little. Someone got traded on the Lions, which I think, gives some more opportunity to Marvin Jones.
Gives him a boost.
This was his first 100-yard game this season, which is kind of crazy. But I think we'll have a couple more of those if.
Yeah, his target percentage might go up a little bit.
Might.
Feels good, man. Feels good.
I was going to ask, too, would you rather have him or Galladay rest of the season?
I don't know.
Same player?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, either one can go off either week. Just really kind of depends.
I'll take Marvin Jones.
I'm indifferent with. I think.
Boo!
Same. I'm indifferent with Detroit receivers. I just don't. I'd never look at them. They're just. I should.
Yeah, all 3 have been pretty solid this year.
I should.
All 2 of them?
I think.
No?
I think.
All 3 for the past 8 weeks.
I think you might. Maybe Babytron will get a little bit more action. I'm gonna go Babytron. If I have to pick somebody.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard either.
Well, that's what I'm calling him. Babytron. Let's go.
Which one is that?
Galladay.
Okay.
I might have heard that, but maybe I forgot.
The new kid on the block.
Oh, Kenny G. I need some Kenny G drops.
Okay. I added a 3rd receiver for Matt. Are you playing music or something? What are you doing?
I'm just going to look for this one right
Oh,
here.
man. I saw this name on the list, and I was like, you got to. Oh, my. It's come. It's finally come. The day has come. I got to ask you, were you watching, Matt, were you watching the game and just going like, oh,
for sure. Every touchdown he had, I had to text Ryan.
I was driving back from Tyler, and I had Red Zone playing through
Let's
my
announce
phone.
who the receiver is real quick.
And I'll tell you why I was happy, though. So Sammy Watkins is our 3rd wide receiver. He was 8 catches for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. As you know, I said he'll never get over 17 points, and he got, 27 or something?
Yeah, around there. I'll have to look
Lucky
up.
day, obviously. But why I was happy was because I have Mahomes, 1. So that was good.
Okay.
2, my opponent has Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. So any touchdown that didn't go to either one of them, I was happy because Mahomes was getting points and they weren't. So this was kind of perfect. I would have preferred them all go to Travis Kelce, and Matt would have enjoyed that.
I would like that too.
But I will take Sammy Watkins taking points away from Hunt and Hill. So while I did not enjoy being wrong because Sammy Watkins is, I'll stand by. He's fucking terrible. But everybody
he's
has
good.
a good game every once in a while.
This is so at the beginning of the year, you said I wouldn't be surprised if Sammy Watkins was I see you rolling your eyes, was a top 20 wide receiver. So he's number 27 right now. He's not quite there yet. If he He did have an injury
He's
week.
not gonna get top
No,
20.
I'm just saying, if he had an injury week where he scored 0 points, if he had 8 points there, which might is around his average probably, he would be 21 right now. So
Which
close.
still isn't top 20.
But he's got time. And Tyreek
And
Hill
that's
has
with
it.
a 30-point game and a
Doesn't matter.
17-point game.
Doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it.
Matt, he will never get 27.
Okay, well now, yeah, I might agree with that. I will say Tyreek Hill has a groin injury, so maybe they lean on him a little more. Who
Sammy
knows?
stepping up as the deep threat.
He's not bad, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
I still don't want him.
Enough of Sammy Watkins.
Hey, Britt
All right,
likes
the
it.
next thing I kind of want to talk about, just kind of look at, we're through week 8. So we're about halfway through the real regular season. We did our midseason rest of the season rankings last week. Let's look at where some players rank as far as points go in fantasy. And I just kind of wrote down some surprises. So let's start with the quarterbacks. Obviously, top surprise.
That was a drop.
Point rank surprises. The number 1 overall quarterback, like we said, he's the number 2 overall player by a few points behind Gurley, but Patrick Mahomes is definitely a surprise. The number 8 quarterback is Mitchell Trubisky through 8 games.
I think that's the bigger surprise.
Think that's a bigger surprise than Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't big
close.
on Mahomes, but I could see where he would be
You could see him being number 1.
I can see him being up there, more so than seeing Trubisky tits being top 8. I mean,
that's fair enough.
Tell me I'm crazy here, but if you saw tits being top 10 at this point in the season, then
I like to call him the truth.
Yeah, but we have an undrafted guy as your number 1 quarterback through week 8.
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens, but I mean,
You know,
I'd like to show me the last time it happened.
Matt Ryan a couple of seasons ago was just on fire. You know, he was number 1 or number 2 quarterback, I believe. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah,
He wasn't being drafted. You know what I mean? Like
he was an established player in the league, though.
That's true.
This guy's Patrick Mahomes that started the last game of the season last year as a throwaway, and now he's just.
Deshaun Watson would have been last year.
Maybe.
He would have been number 1. I'm fairly certain.
We will never know.
I'll say
We'll
Mahomes is a little bit more surprising because people were talking about Chicago's offense going into the season being like, oh, we believe in it. Like people were Allen Robinson, Burton, Howard. They all thought they were going to go off. So, but still, top 10 for Trubisky is pretty impressive. That rushing
Trubisky
floor.
top 10 is impressive, but the reason I'm going to go with Mahomes as number 1 overall is because he is number 1 quarterback by 48.8 points. Yeah. It's not even close.
Pretty good.
I think we said before.
Whereas Trubisky is, let's see, he's at 162. He's 20 points away from Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton having a nice little comeback
number
season.
14. So not only that Mahomes is number 1, but that he's almost 50 points better than the number 2 quarterback. That's the amazing part.
That's nice.
So those are 2 good surprises. Let's get to some surprises with these 4 guys most people had as the top 4 quarterbacks going into the season. Maybe sub in Deshaun Watson for one of these guys. I didn't include Deshaun Watson because, like we said, he ramped up to number 7, and he did have kind of the injuries stuff going on. But your number 9 quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. Most people had him as the number 1. Drew Brees is your number 12. People weren't as high on him, but, number 12, they figured he'd be a top 10 guy. Tom Brady is quarterback number 13. And maybe the biggest one, Russell Wilson is quarterback number 18.
Now, Russell Wilson is a second-half quarterback.
He is a second-half quarterback, but to be all the way down at 18 right now?
Yeah, it's a little surprising, but there's still a lot of football left. There's some bye weeks and all that stuff. Are we doing points per game here? Or are we doing because there's been some bye weeks, like.
That's true.
I mean, like
we just did overall, but even when you can factor in the bye weeks, like
it's still surprising that he's all the way down there. Sure.
Well, Seattle
I
just
think
doesn't throw the ball anymore for some reason. They're just running it. Like we said a couple weeks, like I think it might have been last week. I don't know. They run the ball and then they take a deep shot. That's all they do.
Hey, they got a run game that works for
Sometimes it
once.
works.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Congratulations,
working.
You know?
For fantasy purpose, though, you're fucking hating it.
Yeah.
What was
I
he-
think I think that he's gonna even out. I think he might be just on the edge of top 10 by the time it's all said and
By the
done.
time season's over. Yeah, I think he's going to have a good second half too.
So,
Like we said, he's a second half guy. I think they're starting to hit their stride a little bit as a team. They'll probably make their little playoff push, and I expect him to ramp it up a little bit. So out of all those quarterback surprises, let's say that we already talked about the good surprise. What about the disappointments? Who's been the most disappointing out of Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, and Wilson?
Rodgers, Breeze, Brady.
I
Wilson.
think who's the most disappointing?
Yeah, out of those four.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, 100%.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Uh,
What do you guys think about this?
Well, because I was looking at his fantasy stats, I guess, and the least amount of points he's scored is 15, which is still a pretty solid floor. And he's played Minnesota, Rams, and Buffalo, and those are the three teams that have a pretty good pass defense.
You also drafted him to be like at least a top 5 guy.
Like Ethan said though,
At
if we
least.
do it by average points, he is number 5.
Who's that? Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so see, yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I'm going
probably should've
Wilson.
done by average points.
Yeah, I agree. You fucked
I'm gonna
up.
go with Tom Brady.
Really?
He was drafted as the number 2 quarterback in most leagues. With all the targets he has there, him being, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th. So his same ranking as he is in point rank is his average scoring, number 13. So
I'm going Wilson.
Okay,
And not because I'm disappointed in Wilson. I'm just disappointed in the way they run in their offense.
yeah.
As a fan, like from a fantasy perspective, if it's working, running the ball, then that's fine. But
I mean, I'm happy I got Chris Carson and I've needed a running back. So
he's been solid.
Pete, is PD giving Carson the full load?
He is.
Full load.
Give him the full load.
His carries the last week when he stopped messing around. He stopped messing around with Mike Davis and Rashad Penny.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
poor Rashad Penny. What happened to that guy?
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
In his last 5 games, he's gotten 30, or in his last 4 games, he's gotten 32 carries, 19, 14, and then 25 last week.
Yeah, and that's probably cutting into Wilson's rushing floor as well.
Oh, for sure.
Real quick. Another question, YouTube. We can kind of maybe answer this a little bit more in the waiver section, but we'll do a quick answer right now. Pick up Marvin Jones Jr., DJ Moore, or Cortland Sutton.
Marvin Jones.
Yes.
I don't know why
Jones
he's
as well.
even available.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll just leave it at that. If you want to hear more about each player, because we're probably
we're
going to go through.
talk about those guys later. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
what was I gonna say? Oh, we're gonna get to running backs, and as you know, if you've been listening, I've been having a running back issue all year. So today I looked, and through 8 weeks, I have started 9 different running backs.
Brutal.
I've
Dang.
started 9 different running backs through 8 weeks.
Brutal.
Only 4 receivers. I've started the same 3 receivers every week except 1.
It's a far cry from last season there, Keller.
It is far cry. Yep. I'll choose last season every day.
I will too.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
But my team is on my team's on the rise a little bit. I'm feeling pretty good. I made an acquisition this week that I like for now. And I'm feeling good.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I'm
you
on
feel good.
I'm on the uppity up.
You feeling good makes me feel good.
But let's
Like
get
that.
into some prizing running back rankings. We'll start it off with the guy we talked about earlier, James Conner, is your number 3 running back.
That's the surprise. That's the surprise right there of the season. I mean, who saw that coming? And people drafted Le'Veon Bell, expecting him to come back to camp and being being ready. Oh, he's not going to hold out. Oh, next thing you know, it's week 1. Oh, he still hasn't showed up. Oh, he's going to show up next week. Oh, week 2. Oh, he'll show up by week 3. Week 3 shows up. He still ain't there. Your second draft, the first or second pick of the draft is just sitting there on your bench, just rotting away. You're pulling your hair out. This is worse than the whole Emmitt Smith. I said Emmitt Smith. the Ezekiel Elliott debacle last year. Oh, I'm still traumatized. Like, this is it's brutal. But, James Conner was like a last second, pickup for a lot of people. For some people, they had the foresight to pick him up just in case. And kudos to you if you did. I was so foolish about not picking him up. I regret it. I should have. I did not. Shame on me.
I'll say that even if preseason you could have guaranteed that Le'Veon Bell wasn't going to play like this, you still wouldn't have had James Conner in your top 3. So
yeah, no way.
Yeah, I'll say he's
he's
more surprised that he's started all these games. Because if I told you that James Conner was going to start the first 9 weeks of the season, would you put him in your top 10? It might be split, but it would be close. Like we'd say he has a good chance of being in the top 10.
I would say that he's a RB2 with RB1 upside, and leave it at that. Like I'm saying, maybe like top 15. I'd be expecting maybe top 15 just because of offense.
We think it would be decent.
Yeah, I like very serviceable, plug and play every week, but not be like, oh shit, you just got 2 more touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The next guy, a top 10 running back, number 7 running back is James White.
And this is I think this is a big surprise to me.
Oh yeah,
just because of how the Patriots are week in, week out with their running backs. Like, what's the number 1 rule? What's one of our rules here on Fantasy and Chill? Don't ever trust the Patriots backfield.
Yeah, well, I think Ryan learned that this past week. No, he didn't start him, I don't think.
Like,
what are you talking about?
Is it Barner?
Oh, I wasn't gonna start him.
No, I know, but yeah, still.
A speculative ad.
Let's just say this. I'll let you finish this. I just want to say Cordero Patterson had the most carries last week for the Patriots. So.
Well, we're gonna get to him in the waiver wire, Matt.
Yeah, I think in PPR, especially James White always thought he was a solid flex. But he's absolutely, put a stamp on on his place there this year. So especially since my boy's not there, Dion.
He's so reliable.
He's very reliable. He knows he's trustworthy. He's got a job and he does it.
But it also helped with Jeremy Hill going down, Rex Burkhead going down, Sony Michel going down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically he's the last one standing. So.
But I wouldn't even consider him a running back. He's one of their best receivers. He leads the team in targets, first of all, and he has 30 more than the next guy, which is Gronk. So he's not really getting the carries. He's just catching a shit ton of balls.
Speaking of not really a running back, but a great receiver, another surprise, your number 14 running back is Tariq Cohen.
And what's his position on averaging points per game? I'm just curious.
Cohen?
Yeah, because they had the bye, so he missed a week.
Let's see. Y'all talk for a second.
I think I have it up right here. So if I can just find his name. We'll see. He's 14, I think.
In average points?
14 both ways?
Yeah, I think he's 14 both ways.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, he's 11 in average points.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed, but somewhat happy because I own Tariq Cohen and the guy that will be mentioned later. Well, I guess we can go ahead and mention it. Jordan Howard at 32.
Yeah, Jordan Howard is, if we want to talk about him real quick while we're talking about Cohen, Jordan Howard at 32 and Tariq Cohen at 14. Jordan Howard was definitely drafted way ahead of Cohen to be hopefully a guy that could be your running back 2 for you, and he has not been. Tariq Cohen has been the guy to own there.
I kind of reached for him in the second round. Talking about Jordan Howard, I was really, really high on him.
But you have Cohen too, though, right? So.
Well, I got Cohen, yeah, but still, it's like.
Well, he's been better than my second round pick, Ethan. So.
Well, they can't all be zingers. So, I don't feel bad because he was my guy. I didn't feel like I really reached because he's my guy. I don't regret picking him up.
And
you know what I mean?
Howard has looked better the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
He has that, but as
In
far
a
as
way.
like,
He's fine in the end zone.
Yeah.
yeah, I plugged him into the flex this week and it worked out okay. So I think he's a flex. I think Howard is a flex play and Tariq Cohen is your RB2, RB1 upside guy,
Yeah.
which is a role reverse.
Yeah.
One more.
Like we said, well, just Nagy's using Cohen the way he would like Tyreek Hill in a way. He doesn't get a lot of carries, but they're just using him on screen passes or just passes in general. And he had that one catch for 70 yards. That helps. That helps out your fantasy day a little bit.
He's got the Tariq Hill like pop off ability. You know what I mean? He's got that breakaway, and he's so shifty.
Yeah.
Little guy, hard to keep up with. But
one more good surprise running back has been Phillip Lindsay, the rookie in Denver, is number 15 running back.
I mean, he's good, but if you watch their games, like, this is all fantasy aside, I can just tell this guy's a douchebag.
But yeah, he got thrown out of like the second game for fighting.
That and every single run, he could get 3 yards. He'll pop up and start talking shit to someone.
He's scrappy, man. He's scrappy.
No, he's an idiot.
It's
Looks
scrappy.
like Cortland Finnegan.
I have no dog in the fight. Cortland Finnegan.
That's not a good comparison.
Exactly. So that's what you would expect. A douchebag.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, he's good though, so I guess if you have him on your team,
he is good.
I like him
better
than Royce Freeman.
Guys that you want on your team, but you don't like to play against just because he's too mouthy. But
the Patrick Beverly running backs.
Yeah. Can I also bring up another prediction that I made a while back that I'd said I'd rather have Phillip Lindsay than Royce Freeman? I just want to throw that out there again. Well, that was
Freeman hasn't been bad.
Yeah, but right now, if I had to ask you, who would you rather have?
Phillip Lindsay.
Yeah, you've came to the dark side.
You're so stupid.
Oh, I'm right. Yeah, being right's stupid, then I don't want to be smart.
Idiot. This is your boy right here, number 42 running back, LaShawn McCoy.
This ain't my boy. I didn't draft him.
That's your boy. You had him last year, and you
last year
tried to trade for him this year.
No, last year he was
you tried to
7.
trade for him like 2 weeks ago.
For Matt Breida.
Man,
that would be a good trade.
This guy. I feel sorry for this guy.
If you watched the game last night, like, I think he started off, he had like a good run and then a couple good catches, and then every time he touched the ball, he lost like 4 yards.
Poor guy.
He was just getting negative points every touch.
Because he's all they have.
They're so bad.
They have the
His
worst
best
offense.
plays were the little wildcat plays they ran on the first drive.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, Bills were drunk the first drive or something. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but I liked it.
But LaShawn McCoy is number 42, and he was drafted as a second rounder, so
brutal.
Maybe third. I'm not sure.
He got you 12 points last game. I mean, he's had over 10 points in 3 of the last 4 games, which last game I think he got hurt. So
I think in my money league, in my big money league, he went like either the 4th or 5th round. Like nobody wanted to touch him. So
Austin took him in our league. So
well, I believe that. Remember, panic.
Believe it.
That was a good segment from week 1 or 2, whatever that was.
I love that.
Oh yeah, we all nailed it though.
Denial.
Yeah. Last disappointing running back is your number 52 running back. Everybody thought he would finally take the big step up this year. Derrick Henry has been terrible. Awful.
No said.
I'll go on record saying that I'd rather have Deion Lewis. So
yes,
I'm not that surprised.
Deion Lewis,
but number 52. I mean, man.
Well, I did, yeah. If I'm gonna say when I'm right, I'll say when I'm wrong.
I think he might have been a flex, maybe running back 2. So
that offense is just
Titans are pretty bad.
Now. They have no real like wide receiver.
They beat us somehow, but they're pretty bad.
Yeah, Well,
They just don't know what they're doing on offense. That's the thing. They have no identity. And
they really don't.
Mariota is not the answer. I'll say that right
But
now.
they have Mike Vrabel.
Well, they got a decent defense. That's
I
about
mean,
it.
they hang tough, but
So who's our biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise running back.
Just
I
out of
mean, it's
all
got to
of
be
them.
James Conner, right?
I'm going James White.
I'm gonna say Derrick Henry because I didn't think he'd be that
Oh,
bad.
wow. So we're all split.
Like I didn't think he'd be this bad. You know what I mean? I thought he would be at least a RB2. This guy's like might as well be
Yeah.
sacking.
He's like,
Pretty terrible.
You
you should probably drop him. Like,
Probably he's
that
droppable.
bad.
He's
He's
droppable,
droppable.
I don't know if I'd drop him because I don't know who you're
Cut
picking
bait.
up that would replace him, but he's not being
But
Maybe
if you
it-
dropped him, you're not gonna like be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
If I'm a Derrick Henry owner, I'm looking for the Derrick Henry truther in my league, and I'm trading him for somebody.
Derrick Henry's on the undefeated team in our league, so
Interesting.
He's not playing him though.
Interesting.
no, he doesn't play him.
All right,
He
real
played him a
quick.
couple times.
Real quick before we go to wide receivers, there's another question asked a while back, but I didn't have a chance to ask it. Just yes or no, would you drop Russell Wilson for Cam Newton?
Yes.
Yes.
Man,
Ethan hates Cam Newton.
I'm just not a Cam guy, and this is where Russell Wilson starts revving up, dude. I'm gonna have to just stick by my guns and say I like Russell Wilson.
Well,
But that's
there
just
you
me.
go. Let's move on.
Wide receivers, surprises. Number 1 wide receiver by a lot is Adam Thielen.
What a stud.
Number 2 wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. So those top 2 guys, I think if you would have said before the season that if Thielen and Tyreek would have been top 10 guys, you would have been like, okay, I could see that. But number 1 and number 2, I don't think anybody saw that come with all those big names out there.
I can see Thielen being like top 5.
Well, I think he finished, 7 last year, Thielen?
And yeah, and
Sure.
And Tyreek
I-
Hill was like
I can-
13 last year or something.
I can see him. Tyreek Hill. I'm actually more surprised about him just because of the lack of faith
Really?
I had in Mahomes. Dead honest.
Well, Tyreek Hill being number 2 is a tie to a lot of Mahomes being number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill showed he could get you big points. The problem was he just couldn't get you big points every single week. It was every other week.
Yeah.
And with Thielen, I think it's just as surprising how consistent he's been. Just, what is this
I mean,
now?
Mr.
He's on
Consistency.
pace to set the record for most targets and receptions in a season.
And wouldn't you know, the girly owner in my league has Adam Thielen.
Damn.
Feels
He's
bad,
loving
man.
it.
And he
That's-
has Mahomes too.
Oh shit.
It's game
Oh,
over, dude.
yeah. We'll just
It's
give him the
game over.
trophy.
Yeah, game over.
Game over,
Game
man.
over, man.
Game over.
Game over, man. There's
No,
a lot
but-
of football left, so
But Thielen has yet to break the 30-point barrier. For being a number 1 wide receiver, you'd figure at some point he would do that. But he's just been so
super high
consistent.
floor.
Super high.
Super high floor.
Yeah.
Best floor in the league? Question mark.
Well,
For
wide
position
receiver
floor?
wise, I don't know, Gurley.
Girly. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curly's
Wide
low is
receiver before,
23.2. So
Yeah, so there's your answer.
Yes.
But for wide
What's
receiver,
second
yes.
Floor. For
It
position
is
player.
14.2. The first
That's
week
good,
of the
man.
game.
first week of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just all over the place.
You're drunk.
Yeah, I've had one drink.
His high is only 26. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's had over 100 yards every game.
Yeah, it's pretty. Feels
tou-
good, man.
Touchdown in 5 straight games.
He is good at sport.
All right. Next.
One more surprise. The number 12 wide receiver. He has kind of kept it going after we thought maybe he'd slow down, but Tyler Boyd is number 12.
It's good to see somebody else rise up in that offense besides AJ Green.
And AJ
Yeah.
Green's like number 7, so he's right there.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Good stuff.
It's
Scratch
probably
that. AJ Green's number 9. Emmanuel Sanders number 7. Both of them are on my team, so I get them confused.
I see this next guy's more surprising.
Number 15.
Number 15.
Number 15 is Julio Jones. The yards have not been an issue, but once again, he is yet to score a touchdown. Pretty
Monster
amazing.
yards.
Because he is a monster. Why do they not throw the ball in the red zone?
You just gotta. You just had this feeling that he's gotta start popping. Like he has to catch a couple of touchdowns.
He's about to have a 200-yard, 3-touchdown game.
Yep. And
He
the
needs
end of the
it.
world will be perfect balance, right?
So, yeah, we all knew the problem was he's not scoring touchdowns, so I had to look at it. Last time he scored a touchdown was week 12 last year in the regular season.
Woof, and he scored
And-
3 of them, right?
I think it was only one.
Oh,
He
But-
did have that one monster game last year.
But if he only catches 2 touchdowns this year, only 2, he's top 10.
that's just crazy.
But he can't catch one. It's Calvin
Oh,
Ridley.
great.
It's Austin Hooper. It's Mohamed Sanu.
When's the last time Calvin Ridley
It's-
caught a touchdown? And
Who
he's
was
still.
the guy that caught that bomb last week? I don't even know his name.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah. Who knows these days? Might have been Matt Ryan.
But Julio Jones, I think, is about to start catching touchdowns, about to explode. I predict within the next 2 weeks,
Can I write this on the board?
he will have a 30-point game.
Put it on the board.
We haven't had a Whataburger bet yet. Do we?
Ooh, speaking of
Because we're
Whataburger.
still owed Whataburger.
Nah, Britt paid me.
When
I
did
should
Britt
have.
pay you?
I should have bet Whataburger for the Sammy Watkins. That'd have been easy.
You should have. I see you, Ethan. I can still see you.
He's covered. Oh, you might be owed Whataburger then. I got paid though.
Let's get to another disappointment. This guy was drafted as a wide receiver 1 in the 2nd or 3rd round, and that is Keenan Allen, is wide receiver 31
Yeah.
on a
Kinda
high-powered
surprising.
offense.
Kind of surprising. Yeah. Yeah, kind of surprising. Yeah.
It's just they're relying on Melvin Gordon so much in the red zone that
Yeah.
he's had a solid floor, honestly. He had a 4-point game. Other than that, he's had at least 9 points each and every week. And if you remember last year, he started off the year similar, probably even worse, honestly, maybe. And then
And he had that streak of like
Yeah.
5 straight 20-pointers or whatever
Yeah.
it was.
and he finished, I'm
carried
pretty
you
sure.
to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that's why I traded for him.
Carried you to 4th place, right, Matt?
Oh, yeah, well, we don't have to talk about that part, but but I'm not too like you're worried about him because of the place you drafted him in, but he's still a solid wide receiver, and he'll start catching some touchdowns sooner or later.
Let's talk about a guy that's way more disappointing. Your number 67 wide receiver. Britt drafted this guy 2 spots ahead of Adam Thielen in our league,
Ooh.
and that is Amari Cooper.
You got that Koopa.
Terrible.
Now he went to another team.
And we're going to talk about in a second what just happened to him, but I'm not sure it really helps. So,
Uh-oh.
but
God, I
he's
can't even
been
find it.
another. He was on my do not draft list. I want to know part of him.
Yeah,
Not that I expected him to be this bad, but I don't know. There's something about him I just don't like.
is he really that surprising though? Because last year we were talking about him in the same way, like some
Matt,
weeks
the
he
67th ranked wide receiver shouldn't even be rosterable.
would...
Ooh.
And the sad thing is, he's ranked 67, and he might have got like a downgrade because he's going to the Cowboys, who
He's ranked 67, and hadn't he had like a 25-point game?
23 points, yep, and a 17-point game. But he's had a 1.5, a 2.7, and a 2.3, and 2 zeros.
Maybe he just needs to change the scenery,
Jesus.
man.
I hope so.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Where do you think he finishes at the end of the season?
Top 50.
I
Put it
don't
on the
know, like
board.
45 or 50 or 55 or 80.
Who knows, man?
so just anywhere.
Seriously.
I don't know.
Some people just need to change the scenery. You know, like Brad Lidge, he got, he built PTSD whenever he let that bomb go from Pool Holes. He was never the same, but until he went to the Philly, and with Philly, he was good. Like
got a World
he just
Series.
yeah.
Last guy for wide receiver number 78.
The
another
Baker.
Another guy that I want to know part of, mainly because of the team he's on. But Kelvin Benjamin,
The
your number
Baker.
78 wide
Wait.
receiver.
You said you want to know part of him, yet you drafted him.
When did I draft him? I drafted him week 1.
The 11th round, you drafted him.
I drafted him in the 11th round.
That was a flyer,
I didn't
man.
like it. Yeah,
I can't
felt
hold
like
it against you.
I didn't draft. When you draft a guy in the 11th round, you don't expect him to do anything.
Oh. But when I draft, the Crow 11th round, I get all this shit.
When did you draft the Crow?
It was 10th or 11th.
The lights are off. I can't see the board from this far away.
It was 10th or 11th. I promise you.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
either way, Matt, the Crow is still on your roster, and I dropped Benjamin like week 1. So.
Yeah. Well, the Crow is better than Kelvin Benjamin, who's a.
It's been confirmed you drafted Crow on the 9th. Stupid.
Okay. Well, I'm about to trade him to Austin. So.
Well, I don't know.
What's more stupid, Kelvin Benjamin or the Crow?
Does Austin know that you're about to trade him, Crowell?
Yeah, he does.
Kelvin Benjamin.
He does.
Yeah, see, Kelvin Benjamin's worse. He's on the.
They're both bad.
He's maybe the second best wide receiver on the worst offense in the league.
Gross.
Well,
yeah, not much to say about that.
I dropped him immediately.
Okay, well, the fact that you said you wanted nothing to do with him, and then I proved you did.
Look, I couldn't even. The fact that I couldn't even remember that I drafted him should tell you something.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So, out of all these wide receivers, who's your biggest surprise? And go.
Oh, I forgot him already. But I'd probably say...
I'm going to say Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd. Good answer.
Yeah, I was going to say Boyd or Jones, but I'll go with Boyd.
I'm going to say Boyd also. I thought he had those first, 2 or 3 weeks, they were really good, and I thought he'd drop off, but he stayed consistent. So.
Yeah, did he even get drafted? I doubt it, but I'll check.
I don't think he did get drafted.
No, he did not. So, yeah, pretty big surprise there.
Good for Tyler.
Yay, Tyler.
Real quick, before we get the waiver claims, let's go over the trade deadline real quick. I'm just going to go through the moves. Demaryius Thomas is coming to our Houston Texans.
Where he will do nothing
to fill in for the dead Will
we're
Fuller.
bad. First place. We're the worst first place team.
First place. But Demaryius Thomas is coming to the Texans to be that number 2 target, maybe number 3. I think Kiki probably still gets more targets once he's healthy.
I think it'll be kind of split a little bit.
But it'll be interesting to see how they open it up because he's not the same player as Will Fuller. So he's a big guy. Now, he does, in the past, he has been a burner for a big guy, but he's 30 years old now, so he doesn't have the same speed. But he should take a little bit of pressure off Hopkins. And
he's still somebody you got to worry about.
It'll be interesting.
But do I have faith that the Texans will use them properly?
No.
Not at all.
That's the biggest concern. Yes, you're right. It's like you just gave Bill O'Brien all this stuff. He has no idea what to do with it.
I'm about to eat, Ryan. I don't ruin my milk. Okay.
Ethan, he's the coach of your first.
I don't want to think
Texans.
of first place in a dumpster fire of a division. It's like we won the Special Olympics. Kudos.
Yeah.
No offense to Special Olympics.
No offense to Special Olympians out there, but
or Special Olympians. God bless you.
We don't want a cease and desist from the Special Olympics.
Right. No. Couple questions about Demaryius Thomas. We have
what?
I'll just go with the latest question. Demaryius Thomas or Kiki rest of the season?
I'm gonna say Kiki.
I like Kiki if he can stay healthy.
Kiki stays healthy.
Yeah, stays healthy. Give me Kiki and PPR.
I'll go Thomas.
Okay. Cool.
Fair enough.
And then Ocean Eyes Film says, yeah, but Demaryius Thomas' value is what, a wide receiver 2? I don't agree with that.
Wide receiver 3 flex.
Yep.
Maybe.
I'd say that as well.
I still got to see what they do because, like Ethan was getting at, it's the Texans, and we know how to just ruin things. So
take it from a Texans fan.
unless your name is DeAndre Hopkins, then I'm not entirely sure that we're going to be able to use you. So
Yeah, they've also been using the tight end quite a bit lately.
I am excited that DT is going to be in. It's coming. I am excited about him. I just would temper
if nothing less, it'll at least be interesting.
Yes.
Right.
I'm really excited about it. So if you got him, what I'm saying here is, if you got him, hold on to him. Just chill.
Oh, for sure.
Be a little excited.
Be a little excited, but not too excited. Don't pee your pants.
Next move that happened today, Golden Tate going from the Lions to your Super Bowl champion Eagles. What do we think about that?
Interesting move, Golden Tate.
Not sure what I think about it.
To the Eagles.
I'd rather, as a Golden Tate owner, I'd rather him just stay on the Lions because you know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah.
And now, also, he's on a bye this week for the second time this year, so you're not liking that either.
Bye.
The double bye.
Rested, super rested.
But he is
Fresh
going
legs.
To a questionable, debatable, I guess, better quarterback.
What are you feeling if you're an Alshon Jeffrey or Zach Ertz owner?
Not worried. I'm more worried.
Not worried at all.
Yeah, I'm more worried if I'm a Tate owner.
Okay. We talked about it earlier, but Amari Cooper going from the Raiders to the Cowboys, hoping to get a fresh start. We don't need to really talk about him because he sucks, and we already kind of gave our thoughts. And then the last trade that happened today, I don't know if this will have any fantasy relevance. I'm a little ticked off because the Ravens already pissed me off enough as it is with the way they use their running backs. Was this necessary? Was it necessary to acquire Ty Montgomery? Alex Collins had finally had a couple good games. Now, I haven't been playing him because he still pisses me off, but he's been having a couple good games on my bench. They still got Buck Allen down there just waiting to take some touchdowns. Was it necessary to sign Ty Montgomery? Or trade for him, sorry.
I mean, Collins likes to fumble it, but still, Montgomery's the guy that would catch.
Montgomery likes to fumble it too, obviously. Just cost them the game.
Montgomery would be the guy like you want out of your backfield that's going to catch the balls as a former wide receiver. But that's what you have in kind of Buck Allen. Like Buck Allen catches ball. Alex Collins, he's not too bad in the receiving game either. So I have no clue why they did this. Maybe it's just.
As a Ravens fan, I'm just kind of like.
I was kind of getting my hopes up a little that I could start Collins again in a couple weeks because I traded Cooper Kupp for Latavius Murray, but Murray might not be starting for too much longer. So I was like, okay, Collins is finally getting it going. I can plug him back in with Carson and hopefully be okay there. And I mean, I still don't think Montgomery's going to take too much away from Collins because
I mean, what did they trade, like a seventh rounder or something like that?
Yeah, like a conditional.
Yeah. So it
basically
should
the
be
Packers
worried.
said, get him off our team. So
yeah,
it's just like, why?
Yeah,
that's my only question.
I agree.
Anything else about those trades? Any other thoughts?
I don't think there's any other trades really that were fantasy relevant.
Those were the only fantasy relevant ones.
I mean, Rams got Fowler, which solidifies their defense more. Rams defense is definitely owned #1, so
yeah,
looking good.
All right, let's get to our
waiver claims.
Waiver claims.
Waiver claims.
Matt, do you have any music queued up for this first one?
Do I have any music? Of course I do.
You're such a nerd.
Guess who's back? Back again. Magic's back.
Yeah, I didn't have that part queued up, but I was gonna let you sing it.
But Fitzmagic is back. Ryan Fitzpatrick came in at the end of the game, led them to a touchdown drive, and now he's getting the start because Jameis Winston is awful. So I will say this. He's a guy you can probably pick back up and plug in and play. And each game this season that he has started and finished, so he started and finished the game, he's had at least 25 points.
Yeah, I think his leash is very short, though, from what the Buccaneers are saying, that if he has another bad game...
Just keep switching him
Is
in
it
and out.
really?
That's what I've heard.
Have you seen Jameis Winston?
The players
Have you seen?
when the players want Ryan Fitzpatrick to play over you, like there's something wrong. Deshaun Jackson asked for a trade because Jameis Winston was playing. And now that
Was that the
Fitzpatrick's
reason
back,
why?
he's good. It was. Look what he
Yeah.
was doing with Fitzpatrick at the beginning of the year.
No,
He was
that's
balling.
what. Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say is Deshaun Jackson. He might be on your waiver wire. Is definitely just got a huge upgrade because Fitzpatrick throws a much better deep ball than Winston does, and it's not even questionable. And that's what Fitzpatrick does. He slings it. So,
For better or for worse. But
that
I'm going
burger
to tell you
looks
what the best pickup of the week
Eric
is.
Gordon.
a patty melt
Without
from
doubt.
Whataburger.
The sweet and spicy bacon burger.
Oh, okay.
The
I would
Whataburger.
love some water.
This is brought to you by Whataburger.
Bob, I haven't eaten yet, man.
Hashtag not a
Dude.
sponsor yet.
I have an awesome wife.
Now I'm gonna have to
She
go get
Hey,
this.
babe, I was thinking about you. Got you a sweet and spicy.
She wasn't thinking about us.
Yeah, Ryan still owed
Yes,
Whataburger. All right.
Next on the waiver wire, Aaron Jones. He had 12 carries for
Hey,
86
Aaron?
yards and a touchdown. He might be owned in your league. He's like right there on that borderline of 50-50 ownership. But like we've said all season, he is by far the best guy in Green Bay. One less mouth to feed now with Montgomery out of there. And he had another good game on Sunday. I don't know why he doesn't get all the carries, but yeah.
Pick him up. Probably, if you have your number one waiver and you need a running back, I'd probably use it on him.
Yes.
Do you have him in our league, Matt?
No, I don't. I have him in another
No,
league. Though. Sam
who
does.
has him? Sam does, yeah. Next guy, Tyrell Williams. He's had back-to-back games with at least 100 yards and a touchdown.
Wait, has he?
They were off this week.
Okay, because I remember we had him on our waiver wire last week.
Yeah.
And
They were on bye.
I knew
His
he had a
last two
bye.
games, he had greater than 100 yards and at least one touchdown.
But I think I said last week too, like he's what Mike Williams did the first few weeks of the season. Like you don't know, you're not confident starting him.
Yeah. Maybe a end of the bench guy though. So
There's other wide receivers in this waiver wire that we're about to talk about that I'd rather have than him.
how about this? Tight end, such a crapshoot. This guy,
Your
when he's
boy?
healthy, pretty reliable. Andrew Luck's maybe his favorite target, aside from T.Y. Hilton. But Jack Doyle caught 6 of 7 targets for 70 yards and a touchdown. Jack Doyle is back. Eric Ebron is done. I think I saw that they ran like 70-something plays, and Jack Doyle outstaffed Ebron like 57-15 or something. Like,
Yeah, thank God Ebron scored a touchdown because I was telling a lot of people that he could be worth a start this week. So he kind of saved me. He kind of saved me there. Even Mo Alley Cox, right? Who
Mo Alley Cox. Yeah, he got
scored a
named in.
touchdown. But
And
yeah,
they still got that scope guy that they like sort of shoop.
oh yeah, yeah. Doyle is a. Shut up, Austin. You ain't part of this podcast.
Matt told you to shut up.
No, but Doyle's the guy to own, and he kind of looks like Ryan. So
He does.
Another
Matt
reason.
pointed that out to me. He does kind of look like me a little bit. I can say that he looks like me because I think I'm probably older than him. So
are you? He is
It's weird to
28.
think
He's
about.
28.5. So yeah.
well, I'm 29.1 or what? 29.06.
Don't, oh man, that's weird that we're older than NFL players now.
I know.
Now we know how Ethan feels.
Yeah, wait till you start getting older than the rest.
The head coach is
And the coaches.
you're older than Sean
right.
McVay, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, you still look good though,
Hey, that's all that matters, right?
as you eat that
What about-
Whataburger.
Our boy Kiki Kute, Will Fuller, as we said,
Kiki.
towards ACL is out. We already talked about him, so we don't have to spend too much. But I like Kiki moving forward if he can stay healthy. I think he is the number 2 guy behind Hopkins, not Demarius. So
Yeah, hamstrings worry me because you've already seen it with Fournette. You've seen it with Cook. I'm sure there's 5 other people you can name right now. So hopefully he gets back, but just be wary.
dude, what the fuck? Dude, the Rockets are terrible.
Well, I'm not watching them, so.
God, they're bad. Now, the biggest beneficiary of Demarius Thomas getting traded is Cortland Sutton, who looks to step up as the number 2 guy in Denver. They like him a lot. He is a young guy with a lot of promise, and I think he's going to have a good second half of the season here.
Yeah. I'm not going to make Ethan talk. So. He's got a mouthful of burger right now. But he's gotten pretty consistent targets. Mouthful of me. Gotten pretty consistent targets each week. And now that Demaryius is gone, who probably gets around 7 targets a week, they got to go somewhere. Why not Sutton? But I was going to say early in the podcast as well that just because someone gets traded or someone gets injured doesn't mean the next guy up gets all of his targets. It's not how a running back is, okay? It might go to someone else. So if you might be disappointed with some of these wide receivers.
Okay.
It's okay though. I got fries.
Oh, we got them fries, dude.
Another guy that had a big beginning of the year with Fitzmagic is Chris Godwin, who is back on the waiver wire once again. He somehow always scores a touchdown. So
he had a 2-point conversion this week.
Same thing.
But yeah. But I think didn't we say last week he's like our Jaguars wide receivers? Just pick one from last year.
Yeah. Westbrook.
He's always going to be on here.
Yeah, Marquise Lee. Like
no one's ever going to pick him up. He's always going to be available.
Until he has one of those like 15, 20-point games, no one's going to pick him up. But he'll always be pretty decent.
How about this? With Bilal Powell being ruled out because of the neck injury out for the season, Isaiah Crowell is kind of the lone man there in New York. What about Elijah McGuire, who is going to be eligible to return this week?
Interesting.
He's like
did pretty well last year as a rookie. Had like 90 carries or something.
He really doesn't get that many. I was looking at his carries last year. I don't know if he ever got more than 10, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. But he's more their third down back.
When the only guy is ahead of you is Isaiah Crowell.
Okay, first of all,
there's a chance.
What did Crowell do on Sunday as the lead guy, Matt?
He was playing Chicago, okay?
What did he do?
Hey, let's move on. Who's the next guy? We're talking Danny Amendola.
No, I'm curious now.
Oh, look it up.
No, I mean, Danny Amendola.
13 carries for 25 yards.
Listen, it was Chicago. And, okay, is it all his fault? Name the best wide receiver on the Jets right now.
Quincy Enunwa.
He's hurt.
Robbie Anderson.
Okay, well, there you go. Name their second wide receiver.
Jermaine Curse.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't just play McCown this year. Can anybody explain that to me?
Because they suck and they just yeah.
Last year he was balling, and he suits up every week. Backup quarterback sitting there with his little clipboard and his Captain America haircut. Why can't you get under center and just toss some bombs to Robbie, dude?
I like him better, but okay. Real quick too, without taking up too much time. I remember at the beginning of the season, we were talking about which rookie quarterback was going to like actually start. It was between like Darnold, Allen, Baker.
I said Rosen would be the best guy.
And Rosen, and we thought like a couple of them weren't going to start. All of them started within like the first 3 or 4 weeks.
I said it would be by week 6 that Baker Mayfield would be starting.
Yeah. Just crazy how they all started at some 2 weeks.
And none of them have been that good. So.
Nope.
No.
Now they're all on terrible teams, but
that's true. It's kind of
okay, our next guy who's had 19 catches over his last 3 games, Danny Amendola. What do we think about old Danny?
Scares the living shit out of me.
I'd rather have the other one that we're about to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about him. 6 catches for 134 yards against the Texans. He's back, Devontae Parker. Rather have Parker?
Against the Texans.
I'd rather have him because he has better skill, I think. But just he might get injured.
Kenny Stills will probably be back, but Albert Wilson's out for the year. So I think Devontae Parker's going to get plenty of opportunity. Just don't know how well they're going to be able to get him the ball with Osweiler and Tannehill throwing in the ball.
Brock is he can't throw the ball down the field, which might benefit Amendola more, I guess, a little bit, but Devontae's got the better talent.
How about this shitty Eagles running back situation?
Oh, man.
God, man, when I picked Corey Clement up and he had that good first game and I started him, I was like, man, this guy might be my my diamond in the rough here. Like I found somebody. And I think he's by far the most talented guy, and they just don't give him the ball. Makes no sense.
Guess we're just going to talk about all three of them.
Wendell Smallwood led the game in touches, but Josh Adams is also on here. He had 9 carries for 61 yards. The Eagles running backs are like Patriots running backs.
Yeah, but worse.
Except worse.
If you followed the Instagram, I put a story up as they were playing their 8:30 a.m. game in London, and the Eagles are always ahead, and they don't fucking run the ball. I have no clue why. They'll just keep passing it until the other team gets back in the game.
It's what they did in this, Super Bowl. They almost blew the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the Falcons, but
yeah, both birds.
Same
yeah.
thing.
Birds. Any team with a bird don't trust their running backs.
It works. Alex Collins. Don't trust him.
Cardinal. David Johnson.
Don't trust him.
Seattle.
Chris Carson.
You'll trust Chris Carson though.
Do you trust Pete? Do you trust Petey?
Yeah, but still, yeah, we talked about Pete Carroll and how he always screws up things with running backs. So,
how about, as we mentioned earlier, the leading carrier last night for the Patriots, Cordell Patterson, got 10 carries.
Oh God, Matthew Berry just jizzed in his pants.
He had some carries. He's going to get some catches, and he always adds in that little speck of hope that he might return a kick.
Pass.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
like a 14 team
dual eligibility like Ty Montgomery did a couple years ago, where he was listed as running back and receiver. It's kind of cool to have one of those players because you could just plug him in.
He's not going to get it.
Yeah,
though.
if they're good.
It's very hard for a player to get that.
Yeah. DJ Moore, the rookie in Carolina, had 6 catches for 90 yards and 2 rushes for 39 yards. This was with Torrey Smith being out, so it kind of hinges on if Torrey Smith plays. But I think even if Torrey Smith does play, this guy should get some more targets going forward. Talented rookie.
Yeah.
They drafted him in the first round, so.
Like I said, if Cam Newton scares me, any of his receivers kind of scare me with that. So I'd rather have probably Sutton if I had the choice.
I think I'd rather have Sutton too. So, what about Willie Snead?
What about
28 targets his last 3 games? That's almost 10 a game there.
What about no
Willie Snead?
This is actually a guy I picked up in my other league just because he'll get you he has a solid floor. It's a very fucking low floor, but he'll get you 5 catches.
He'll get you 5 points.
He'll get you 5 catches every game. It's just not. He's like poor man's Jarvis Landry from last year.
Oh my God, super poor.
Yeah.
Like a homeless Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. Well, he kind of looks like it, so.
That's racist, man.
Bankrupt.
He just has no upside.
Okay, how about the number 2 wide receiver in New Orleans now, Traquan Smith, appearing on the list again.
Very interesting.
Has some upside moving forward. Deep threat.
Yeah, high ceiling, low floor. Kind of the opposite of Willie Snead.
Well, Willie Snead is like low ceiling, low floor.
Yeah. Willie Snead is the Lamar Miller of wide receivers.
I think that's degrading to Lamar Miller.
That's true. Yeah, you're probably right in that. No, but Traquan is like the Saints' Deshaun Jackson.
Willie Snead is the Alfred Blue of wide receivers.
That's more appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll get a couple touches, but it's going to be for 3 yards each, 2 yards.
Yeah.
Clodding along.
Fair.
2 more guys left. Nyheim Hines still being productive, even though Marlon Mack has turned it. We didn't even talk about Marlon Mack, who's turned into an absolute beast the last 2 weeks. Nyheim Hines still getting a little production there in the passing game. He's another guy who I thought, this could be my guy, and he's another one of those guys I had to start.
Marlon Mack's
but I did start him the only week that he had 13 points. So
yeah, good start.
Last one, my boy, the Aggie, Christian Kirk, had the game-winning touchdown on Sunday. I think with Josh Rose in there, they're going to keep developing that chemistry. He can be a deep threat also. Maybe a speculative ad with some high upside.
Can I rant real quick not about Christian Kirk, but about a question we got on Instagram? I talked to Ryan about this. Someone asked on Instagram if they should start Kenny Galladay or Christian Kirk this past week, and I said Kenny Galladay. And I imagine, probably y'all would agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So Christian Kirk gets 40 yards and 1 touchdown.
At the last second.
Yeah, at the last second. And this guy has the nerve to respond the next day saying, "Oh, I got to unfollow y'all because you were wrong because Kenny Galladay had a bad game." Listen, if you're going to try to predict touchdowns for one of the worst offenses in the league in the Arizona Cardinals with a mediocre, no offense, Ryan, mediocre wide receiver right now, then I don't want you following us to begin with. All right?
Yeah. Fuck you, guy.
Yes, and that's what I pretty much said. He said we got the L because we picked Kenny Galladay. No, he got the L because he has shitty wide receivers. Yeah, you ask us a question, I'm gonna answer. All right, you don't have to take our advice, but keep trying to predict touchdowns.
We're just a resource available to you.
Look, guys, we're just a couple champions here and one fourth place guy. You can't expect us to get it right every time.
Yeah, I just go to the playoffs every single season in every league I've ever played in. I just somehow managed to do that. It could be luck, I don't know, but I think the consistency speaks for itself. I didn't answer the question, but I would have answered the question the same fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could have predicted. That just sounds like you're sour about fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not going to speak too much to it because it's a waste of my time. But I will say that, it's fantasy, dude.
It's fantasy. No expert is 100%.
Yeah, if that was the case, I mean, come on. Give me a break.
Everyone would know who to play if one person was 100% correct.
There's nobody on this earth can predict any of this stuff happening. That's what makes fantasy so fun.
Exactly.
Except Blake.
It's all stock.
Yeah.
It's all everything that you do is speculation. Every ad that you make is speculative. Every play that you make is speculative. Every draft pick that you pick is speculative. This is all like we're playing the stock market, dude.
Exactly.
That's just how it is.
That was my comparison right there. Stocks.
Some stocks come with lower risk and higher reward. Some of them come with zero return. That's all we're doing, man. We're just playing. We're playing the best possible, odds that we have. You ask us a question. Anybody asks us a question, we ain't gonna try to lie to you. What do we have to benefit from that? What do we have to benefit from giving you a bad read on something? Maybe you should trust yourself more.
Boom.
Didn't like it.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. So on that note, we'll be signing off here shortly. Make sure you follow us on Instagram so we continue to get your questions wrong and tell you the wrong guys to start.
that might have been the only question I got wrong, honestly.
Go to Fantasy and Chill on Instagram, Fantasy and Chill on Twitter. Go to your podcast app, subscribe and listen. Fantasy and Chill on the podcast. Give us a rating too. You can do that. We haven't had much of those lately, so we need some more of those. Go to YouTube, subscribe to Fantasy and Chill, watch our videos. Matt might get out some little short teaser videos out there too. Be on the lookout for those.
Those are always cool.
Be on the lookout for the nice photoshops on Instagram that Matt does. Puts a lot of time into those. So we are through 8 weeks. Wild and crazy fantasy football.
Boom.
Hopefully everybody's making their playoff push.
Real quick. Last question of the podcast. Just one word answer. 2 word. Kenny G or Doug Baldwin rest of the season?
Doug Baldwin.
Kenny G. Ethan, tiebreaker.
Kenny G.
And on
my boy.
We out.
Rockin'.